What's happening? Oh, there we go. Can't hear you.
Well, I wonder why. Probably because I have something like a mute button on.
Now I can hear you.
I know, and hopefully everybody else at home can hear me too. How you guys all
What's
doing?
that?
Thank you.
Oh,
What's up
that.
indeed? We're having a bit of a rough
Yeah, a little
start.
bit.
Yeah. Blame the NDP propaganda for that.
Totally.
Totally. It's
Totally
you know,
NDP.
coming in here. Totally NDP propaganda, rooting all that stuff. Yeah. It's all good. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Lots of stuff going on. We've got a pretty much broad show, a lot of topics. We're going to go through everything as much as we can, and we're going to start off with the Olympics. Something I didn't think we'd ever really cover, but you know what? Let's get into it because it really, really does delve into a lot of the stuff that we've been dealing with and just growing into everywhere. So we'll start off with, as I'm sure everybody knows, the story of Imane Khelif, if I'm pronouncing correctly. I'm sure I'll get corrected. Who has been a very center point story right now going on. As many people know, she is an Algerian boxer that boxed and did quite well. And in the span of, I believe it's 42 seconds, through no fault of her own, became the center of a controversy that does not exist.
It's disgusting.
So, after her fight, sorry, not 42 seconds, 46 seconds. I was going a little Douglas Adams there. As soon as the fight stopped, ended, an entire storm of misinformation erupted. And we're talking about things that were, and it's not so much the misinformation because people in the basements will be spewing out their stories in regards to what they believe and what's going on. But it's the fact that these particular stories suddenly got the lift from people like Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling, Logan Paul, and Caitlyn Jenner, who boosted these stories that were literally fabricated out of air. People were saying that she's transgender. She's not. Or she's genetically different. She's not. So all this added up to, obviously, I'm sure she received a fair amount of hate and whatnot, but it was clearly undeserving. Continuing on to what didn't help was also during the event, her opponent Karina, what people called
Karini.
Karini snubbed her in regards to getting upset after the end of the fight. But Karini came out and later on apologized for snubbing Khelif because she was angry because her Olympics had gone up in smoke to her. No matter 46 seconds, she lost the fight so quickly.
She fucking fell on her own self.
But hang on, and I'm going to give her this a second here. She said the resulting controversy has made her sad. I don't have anything against Khelif. Actually, if we meet again, I would embrace her, she said. So for her to be upset about her performance, you know what? I've seen for athletes and whatnot, they get pretty hardcore. They want to get upset, and they'll get upset and they'll punish themselves and get in reaction. That's fine. That's not surprising. Unfortunately, that really, really sort of didn't help for Khelif in regards to they being everybody in the right wing decided to just spin stories and try to use her reaction in regards to that story. I'm glad she came out at least said, no, I'm just upset at myself. I'm okay with that. Sorry, 2 more points and then it's on. 2 more points is on you. Neither Khelif nor Lin. So again, now Khelif is not the only winner in the Olympics having a problem. Also, Lin, I believe, Taiwanese, have been misidentified as transgender or different genetics, or being told that they were born in male body. None of this has been proven to be correct in any way. The allegations continue to be against them even to this point. We're still seeing people tweet about this and comment on this, saying that these people are either having a genetic change or being born male and being transgender in the event. And that's just not the case. The biggest problem here is is, as Michelle Donnelly states, it's inauthentic to argument. It's an inauthentic argument, according to Michelle Donnelly, associate professor of sports management and a gender issues researchers at Brock University. She sees it as an excuse to push transphobic agenda. It's obviously not about women's sports at all. It's really it's really all about forwarding a exclusionary transphobic agenda, she said. People were truly interested in fairness in women's sports, they would be advocating for more media coverage, more resources, investment in women's sports, and more opportunities. Deana.
I don't really know what people expect. If you're going to be sporty, you're going to be more muscular. And hate to break it to y'all, but Middle Eastern people have big noses and prominent features, and that's just how it is. So I don't even know what to say. Who cares if somebody looks like a man or looks like a woman? They're a woman playing in women's sports. End of story. Like, I don't know. They're just telling on themselves. They're showing their whole ass stupid selves. Really. It's, you know, what's interesting though, is seeing dumbasses like Kamal, other Middle Eastern men who have perpetuated this narrative, and now it's coming back to bite them in the ass because it's their women who are being targeted. You know.
Oh, it's their and I use this in regards to, you know, this could be their, you know, their sisters, their daughters, their mothers, their whatever.
But these men are misogynistic pieces of shit who don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah,
they really don't. If you cared about your daughters and your mothers and your wives, then you wouldn't have this hate in your heart for other human beings. To be honest, like if you're an actual person who cares about people, then you're not gonna go above and beyond to be assholes to complete strangers who have done nothing wrong other than just existing. It's that simple. Like to go out of your way to form hate rallies against people for just existing means you're a piece of shit and you probably don't really care about your family. Just like, you know, Pierre Poilievre doesn't give a shit about his wife. I mean, it's all the same. They're all misogynistic pieces of shit. I know. We're getting to that.
We'll get to him later. Would you stop jumping again?
Well, it's just like they're all the same. They're the same.
Yeah. It's a common thread of the theme in regards to tonight.
And watching these guys try to navigate through the white supremacy, like watching Kamal commenting on Bethan's thing was just a fucking joke. Same with Bahira. Bahira makes some and it's like, how about right now you get to shut the fuck up because you fucked up. Like you brought this
Bahira
on.
Still talking?
Yeah, Bahira. Yeah. Somebody tweeted her by accident. And so I because I had noticed and I DM'd them and I'm like, yo, that person's a huge transphobe or whatever, because they stuck up for Imane. And so I'm like, so I went in her comments and I'm like, you are the one who is part of this. You fed this. And I said the same thing to Kamal. You fed this beast. Like, what do you think? What did we say? You're next. And that's what's happening right now. Muslims,
she's still following me.
Arab women. Just, they're so fucking stupid. Every minority group is next. Like, just know that. It's just what it is. Yeah, there goes Camilla. This is why I usually have. That's why I usually have a thing so people can walk around freely. You saw Uma earlier. I'm on. Okay, we're gonna interrupt this live stream for an ad. Not showing the phone number, but Camilla is the dog walker and she has a business and she would like to walk dogs. And if you would like her to walk your dog, these are the rates, even though it's backwards, but you can figure it out. Oops. Okay, well now you saw the number. For fuck's sake.
There you go.
Now y'all have my number. You have the dog walking number.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thanks,
There you go.
Canola. Our phone's going to ring nonstop now for dog walkers. I'm going to have to change my number all over again.
Well, if it's a caller
God
ID,
damn it.
if it's a caller ID, answer it. It's not.
No, I'm not answering it anymore. The whole world has my phone number now.
See, this is how you get Camilla to be your secretary now. She now screens
She can
all the
answer.
calls,
Oh, I don't think she needs to screen those calls that will be coming in. You remember the last crazies? No,
Yeah,
the police
true.
have that.
That's true.
Police took my phone, so now they can see all the people who have been trying to come after me. Some
That
of you
is
guys
true.
don't know, but I have like really fucked up, crazy stalker people.
That's true.
Let's see if the police do something about it.
No, they won't. Why would they? Not like it affects them. It does.
I know. I'm public enemy number one.
Apparently. So we are now going to move over to. Yeah, we're going to move
Imane.
over to. Nice.
Let's go, Imane.
There we go.
A
We're
role
going to
model.
move over to.
She's a role model.
She is. She is definitely a role model, and yeah. But now we're gonna move over to Coutts. See what's going on there.
Ziggy said if she had a dog, she'd totally hire you. Just word of mouth, Ziggy. Word of mouth.
There you go.
Y'all have my number now.
So, protesters. This is for Tony Olenek and Christopher Carter. Yeah, Christopher Carbert. Sorry. Who were tried and found not guilty on the conspiracy to kill Mounties of the Coutts blockade.
Yeah.
So to add to that, they were found not guilty on that particular charge. For the other charges, both of them were found guilty on possession of weapons for dangerous purposes, mischief over $5,000, and as well as Anthony Olenek is also found guilty on possession of explosives for a dangerous purpose. Now, both are still in custody and are awaiting sentencing, and that's going to be occurring on August 12th, where sentencing and or bail hearing. So I'm not quite clear as to which one it is. So they were found guilty on that. Now, if you guys remember, two additional individuals, I believe, Jerry Moret and one other, were
Flat out.
Yeah, they pled out guilty and were now released on lesser charges. And so these two are now there, and I believe there's still a third one that should, a fifth one now that should be also going through because he was recently charged. That is
okay.
the one
I was
there.
say that doesn't make a Coutts 4 anymore.
No.
I didn't
It went
hear
from
about
Coutts 3 to Coutts 4 to Coutts 5. So they're only found, so they're celebrating the not guilty on the one particular one because, and I think I understand what is a bit of a celebration there because the conspiracy to commit murder is a significant felony.
That's a huge one.
It's a big one with a heavy amount of time. The other one still presents some time, and obviously they've been in jail now for. Actually, I'm not sure how long Olenek and the other have been in there, but if they've been there for about the same amount of time as Pierre and the other one, they're going to be looking at, was it 1.5 to 2 times? Because they've been waiting there for trial. So they should be able to get a fair amount of their time off in the sentence.
Did anybody get evidence privilege? Like, did anybody, like us normies, did we get to see what the evidence was like? Like, I feel like
there's a lot of people that watch the information. I think a few people here, and they can probably give us a little bit. Can
somebody validate my theory, if you can? The two people that pled out.
We can hear the tapping.
Sorry. Tick, tick, tick.
Okay.
The two people that pled out, are they the ones that were caught on the recording being the ones who were actually should have been, well, they probably were charged, but convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, and the other two were part of the plan but didn't actually say those words, and so that's why they pled guilty, because they knew that there was evidence that they were guilty, but because the other two didn't actually formally say those words, they weren't going to be found guilty for those charges. But because the other two pled guilty to their charges, they dropped the conspiracy to murder charge and went with lesser charges. That is my theory. I would like to be told no, that's garbage, or yeah, it is pretty much what happened.
So, if you understood what Deana was asking for, please drop it in the comments.
You don't understand what I was asking for?
It doesn't matter if I understood it or not.
It does
They
matter.
understand, not me. I'm not gonna know the answer to the question. I have not been tracking them.
Okay.
It's if they
No, but
understood
do you know what I was asking?
You're asking, yeah. You're
was it
asking if there
clear?
was evidence in regards to
The other
if
two
these
that pled
two-
out. Yeah.
Yeah. If there was evidence in regards to the phone calls, in regards to
Because maybe that's
and-
why the other two weren't found guilty for conspiracy to murder, because they didn't actually say it, but they were part of the group. And so because, do you know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah.
they're not going to be in trouble for conspiracy for murder because they didn't actually tell those female cops that they wanted to murder people, but they were still in on the plan and were going to drive or whatever they were going to do.
So it's as Ziggy mentions, it's an excellent question. There was discussion in
I'm on
regards
live.
to what you might call it, the female officers. In fact, I believe the defense counsel even came out and said these people are the female officers were apparently trying to seduce them and using their feminine wiles to get statements. And the female officers came out going, no, we didn't. It's like, well, you sent heart emojis. We sent heart emojis because we liked their message. And I'm just also going to try back like, yeah, misinterpreting women's intention. That's not surprising.
Yeah. Well.
Hi, how you doing? She loves me. No,
Mhm.
she said hello. That's it.
Had me at hello.
Yeah. Clearly.
You guys all got to meet my
Yes.
friend, my live-in.
Yes.
This
Okay,
is why I usually have this screen.
Well, this is your fault for not having put up a screen.
I know. It's broken.
Need to get you another
It's right
screen.
there. It's broken, leaning against the wall.
How big is that screen?
It's 4 panels, but there's only 3 on there right now. The 4th one I've got to get a new hinge. It broke.
They get you a new hinge. If you give me the information on that, we can go take a look at that.
Yeah.
We should get a whole new panel. Fundraise for that. Yes.
No. No fundraising for panels. I have other things if you want to fundraise for, not the
Like
panel.
legal funds. It's true.
Like legal funds.
So, yeah. So that's it with our motif or face masks. There we go. So that's it for the Coutts boys. They're going to be in there until at least August 12th. But I think somebody there, I think Steve said that date was bumped up to later. I'm not sure if you've got it.
To later?
So last I heard is August 12th. If it's later than August 12th, I'd love to hear when. Steve.
Oh, if it's later than August 12th, they might have instructed their lawyer to put it a little bit later because of the amount of time.
They have no place to go.
No, I'm just saying, depending on what. So this is something that happens in jail when they know that what their sentence is going to be. Then they're going to do a little bit more dead time so that they can reduce their sentence by half or by a third. So it might have been them who instructed their lawyer to set it to a later date so that they could just do another week, 2 weeks extra, and that will equal to a month. And then it's going to be time served.
So I don't.
It could be.
19th. Yeah, 19th is what Steve is reporting.
So another
here.
week.
It's another week. The only thing I'd counter with that is I understand that, and if it's sort of a weird kind of thing, I could see the lawyer involved in that, and in regards to making sure that we get that kind of covered. But I don't think so, because a week difference might give you best 2 weeks off your time. And somebody is mentioning that potentially some of these crimes, particularly I guess for Tony, because he's got 3 charges,
Mhm.
They could be looking up to around 10 years. Now, if they've got 3 years
That's not
served,
happening. They've been in 3 years. That's like, it depends on if their jails
oh, no,
were over
I'm talking about the
capacity.
sentence versus what they're
Yeah.
actually going to serve. I'm just talking about the sentence. So if they get up to 10 years,
They won't.
you've got, let's say, 3 years in there right now, 2 to 3 years. Not 2 years, really, because it's only 2004.
It's
2.5 years.
2.5 years, which will be almost, it'll be 4
So,
years that they've served.
At best, you can knock off 5 years, and then you get another 5, and you're good to go. You're right. I'm not saying that's what's going to be getting, but I'm talking about I'm just talking about the extremes. Like, let's say they
Yeah.
get maximum, it's 10 years, then you're talking about knocking off 5 years. Adding a week to the my point is, adding a week to the 5-year pool, not going to make much of a difference.
Mm,
On the
We'll
grand
see.
scheme. Yeah, it's going to add an extra week, but
They
it's not.
are going for a bail hearing.
They're definitely going if there's going to be sentencing, and so yeah, they're going for the bail hearing. But if they're going for sentencing, there's also even if you're going to be sentenced, you're going to be allowed out for at least a week or 2 before you go back in for long term. So
August
that's
12th
it.
is the conviction date, last I saw, unless it changed.
Well, they were convicted there because they were found guilty on the 12th. Oh no, sorry, no. That was so that looks like it's been changed to the 19th from Steve. Says what Shelley is asking about. But it looks like they've been found guilty now already on the, I guess it would be last week. They were going to be sentenced, I think, on the 12th. Now they're going to be looking at this 19th. So we're going to find out probably next week or 2 as to what's going on.
And Guy, no, they did not get rid of time served. Being in jail, and I just found out that if you were in jail too long for a previous conviction, then you have banked days. And so if you are in jail and needing to have time served, you can actually draw from your banked days. So I have 53 days in the bank, everybody. 53 days in the bank.
You're going to sit on that, aren't you?
I just found out.
So Dina's now having I'm in a surplus in at least one thing.
Surplus. Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
My wallet's empty, but my jail time is full.
Exactly. Only you can put those in investments. There you go.
If only I could transfer them to people,
Transfer them to people or put them into investments, watch them grow. So, sit them there for 20 years and suddenly it's hey, look, I got a couple of years worth.
Right.
And go, hey, look, I've got enough now. I can go do an armed robbery, walk out the jail door right away. That's it. Done.
And then I won't be broke.
There you go. Exactly. That's how you transfer the jail cred into cash.
Call me Tokyo.
Bank robbery. There you go. We're not saying this because that's not suggesting crimes to do.
Obvi, we're kidding, losers.
Because there's no way to invest your time anyways.
Street cred.
Yeah. Exactly. Hardcore. So, speaking of street cred, talk about Pat King.
Oh, dear.
So, as we all know, Pat King is currently in custody at OCDC. He's going to be up for a hearing 2 days on Friday at a courthouse. Now, since then, this is a complete side story. So let's go on a side quest here.
Yeah, take me for a little quest. I don't even know what the hell's happening with any of this. I have not been paying attention. Been busy
so
at work.
most people wouldn't unless they're from out west and have been aware. So Pat King has been doing everything for fundraising purposes only, because that's how Pat King operates.
Yeah.
Everything is for fundraising, including a concert. Now he had his it was Bullet the Bulls and Broken Arrow festival to try to fundraise for his lawyer's fees. And now there's been a bit of an incident here going on, because there was as he was going in, he was talking about a festival he's going to be working with to fundraise with. And as it's coming out, Susie Van Helberta, again, fantastic. If you're not following her, you should, especially if you're out west. And she's coming up with some information in regards to the Rock the Track Music Festival coming up in Rimby. So they were saying that this particular event was supposed to be to fundraise for Pat King, but the event had different information. So to give you an idea what the scale of this event is, I can show you at least the flyer for it. Now, the flyer doesn't show you too much, but I'm going to give you a couple of notes of there's...
Biff Naked?
Yes.
Biff Naked is not going there to raise money for Pat King.
So give an idea of the different artists here. I got a better listing here a little bit later, but you're talking about Biff Naked, the Headstones, Headley, and quite a few others. Like, this
hilarious.
is just, yeah, a lot of names that you're like,
Headley's still around for
the event. Yeah.
Wasn't the lead singer of Headley like in trouble for like raping 14-year-olds and shit, or is that a different
I
band?
may be wrong with the Headley, and they might have replaced them. I'd have to go. We'll follow up here as we get further into the list to show that. But also Nazareth, and Nazareth is a very old group.
Nazareth.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
No, this is not a
fundraiser for Pat King.
Yeah. If you're Gen X, you remember Nazareth from just every slow dance when you were in junior high. So
you're old. I'm just kidding.
Whatever, elder. I've never been called elderly, so
I'm elder.
So a statement being shared on social media seems to link Pat King and the event. And the statement in question, and we have Lady Squibbles here as a source. From the Real Pat King site, focusing on also, we've been getting inquiries about the upcoming Rock the Track 2024 event in Rimbley, Alberta next week. The entire team is diligently preparing to deliver an unforgettable experience for the participants. Regrettably, I won't be able to make it due to these circumstances, but rest assured, the event will proceed as planned. That does make it sound like he's going to be he's significant to the whole thing, right?
Did he get out on bail?
Oh, fuck no. He's still exactly where he's at.
How the fuck did he type that shit?
Oh, no. Bottom line, admin on the behalf of Pat.
Got it. Okay, I didn't read that part. That's how bored I get with their friggin' ramblings.
Yes, okay. Because I'm gonna razz Deana a bit.
Admin.
Because there's no way that person that's in OCDC could communicate with somebody outside of OCDC and have their message posted.
Yeah, it's true. When Joe didn't feel like posting something for me, I'd go to somebody else, or I would know Joe wouldn't post it, so I'd go to somebody else, and they'd get it up for about half an hour. It would be removed.
Yeah.
Thank you to all those people who care about me and listen to me and put that stuff up.
The amount of work I have to do to protect people's asses, including those that are recklessly doing that.
Make sure you say this. Can you put this up for me? Okay. Oh, yeah.
I totally will. I'm like, you got to take it down. You got to
take it down.
But she told me to. Yeah, she doesn't know what she's saying. Just trust me on this one.
She's going stir crazy in there.
You can put stuff up, or just check with me before Because again, please.
That was awesome, though. The fact that I was able to have plenty of
To
conversations.
cause my blood pressure to rise?
No.
Great.
Have conversations with people when I came, like every time I was in day room or whatever. Like make sure that people have money on their phones so they can call.
Boy, that part was good. That was fun.
Yeah.
But back to this. So people reached out to the event because, again, from that previous message saying like, "Hey, Pat King, this is all this big event," and they said, "Qu'est-ce que fuck?" And the event came back going, "Hi, thanks for your message. Our nonprofit raises money for the local food banks in Rimbey and Red Deer, as well as for the Veterans Voice of Canada, Madden's Fight, and local schools in Rimbey. We are
Was
not
Pat
associated with."
going to try to steal from kids and schools and shelters?
Hang on. As we're not associated with Pat King and are aware of recent posts on social media and are dealing with it accordingly. So they had no clue
Sophie,
until-
you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, I'm sure this goes beyond Sophie.
Oh, it's
And you know
all
what?
of them. But she wrote that she's an idiot. She's
Hey,
an idiot because she's with Pat
I'm not going to
King.
throw everything on Sophie on this one because you know
Oh,
what?
she's with
There
Pat
is-
King. She picked him.
That's fine and that's fair, but I'm not going to throw this one on Sophie because again, I like to be specific in regards to, and if I have people to mention about this, I will. And guess what? I do.
Who dis?
So rock the track. So meanwhile, the red information indicated a convoy link via ogologo.ca and Jamie Nix. So the person, Ogo Logo is one of the sponsors of the Rock the Track, and they have a big connection with the convoy. And so this is where the mix comes in. So Rock the Track, as you can see, one of the well, you guys may not be able to see it necessarily, but within the sponsors, it is Ogo
It's
Logo.
right at the
in there.
bottom in the middle.
Okay,
Bottom middle blue.
perfect. I better eyes than me. But the founder being Jamie Nix, who is also very, very associated with the convoy, and therefore Pat King and everybody else. So
Still
as
doesn't
we're
make it a
discussing-
fundraiser for Pat King.
So yeah. So as you were saying, and I think we're all saying for those who are aware of the groups, it's hard to believe that Bip Naked or Headstones would be raising funding for Pat King, as well as the list in there includes Nazareth, Northern Pikes, Lee Aaron, Honeymoon Suite, Harlequin, Headpins, and other regional artists. So Headley, I was incorrect about. Sorry about that. But all the
Maybe
other ones,
ACL is one of the regional artists. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Just kidding. Oh, that's so ridiculous that they're riding off of that.
So, but what does that writing mean?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I asked the question because I'm about to give you an answer. FYI, the Rock Truck says the proceedings go for food hamper programs, food banks, and all sorts of other stuff. And as we discussed, all sorts of other programs that they like to give the money to. And I have no doubt this seems to be a pretty big legitimate event. They got big names coming in there to jump in there because over the surface and everything else, this seems like a good event. Like this is going to help Red Deer. I have no problems with it. So why did Pat King and everything else seem to be in there? This is a 2-bar message, but I'm going with the last one from Sizu. So Pat and other volunteer are responsible for trying to promote the event as in some way theirs. The person clarified Rock the Tracks is 100% not Pat King fundraiser, and that now this has been looked into. Neither Pat or the other volunteer will be allowed outside to attend. On site to attend. Well, I think Pat's taken care of already, but the other person can be dealt with. This is good to hear because Pat's bail hearing is on Friday and the event runs through Saturday.
Is Sophie the other volunteer?
I got the feeling it might be Jamie Nix.
Oh, I see.
I'm scrolling through his lives. Pat had tickets from Ogo Logo to provide to his followers. So that's more than just volunteering. So they got some tickets to go there. And this is where I think
maybe he was going to try to sell the tickets and make money off of the tickets.
That's my thought exactly. That's exactly.
Why didn't
my
they get
thought.
on it? Why didn't they do it like yesterday, given the fact that, like, why is it unclear to us, given the fact that this concert is like a week away from now? Like, why didn't they sell it or try to fundraise a couple of weeks ago?
I think he might have been. He was planning on fundraising it this week, but he's been busy being,
Do all of his
Yesterday.
friends have no lives and they can just drop everything to go do something? Like, I don't understand that. I kind of would
Well,
like
if they
to-
do have that ability to do that, then that means they don't have the funds to be able to
right,
to give him stuff.
right,
So
right.
it's either you have all the time, therefore you don't have the funds, or you have all the funds, but therefore you have none of the time. Thanks for looking at it.
Cool.
So it's going to be one or the other.
Some people need babysitters, man.
Sorry?
Some people need babysitters, man.
Well, there's that. I mean, it's a little bit weird.
Anyway, oh my God, they give me a headache. Those poor people organizing this concert who just wanted to organize a concert now have to field all these stupid calls and like
Yeah.
be like, Pat King is not affiliated with us. No thanks.
It's true. So,
Oh well.
We're going to move
Losers.
now back to, Canada. Well, we were still in Canada, but, I guess Alberta makes it kind of weird. But we're going to get up to the federal level now and start discussing somebody
Losers.
who wants to be your next prime minister. He's been wanting to be your next prime minister for the past 4 years, and now
He ain't gonna be.
And I'm going to let Caleb to explain to you
I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah, the most insane interview with Pierre.
I have to read you guys this interview. It's with the leader of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre, but it reads like an interview with a child who needs a nap. Just listen to this. So the interviewer, Jenny Lamothe, says, "Those who are not supporting you accuse you of flirting with right-wing extremism." And Pierre interrupts and goes, "What do you mean?" And she says, "Well, you've interacted with Diagolon." And he says, "What is that? I don't know what that is." Despite being pictured with them many times and even issuing public statements about them, but whatever. So the interviewer kindly tried to explain to the man pretending to not know what Diagolon is, and he just says, "That's an example of gaslighting by NDP liberal extremists who are trying to convince the people that they're wrong. Justin Trudeau, Mr. Blackface, who's dressed up in racist costumes so many times that he can't remember them all." Like, this is a real interview. I kind of can't believe this. "They want to call a trucker racist because he can't afford a home and he's not supporting them." And the interviewer just goes, "Well, that's not quite answering the question." He says, "I know what you're speaking of. I'm speaking of something else." So, not answering the question, basically. "I'm addressing the extremism that we have in Canada, and that extremism is a prime minister who says he admires the basic Chinese communist dictatorship, and Fidel Castro, who's passing censorship laws that Margaret Atwood—" Have you heard of her? Have you heard of Margaret Atwood? "She says that's creeping into totalitarianism. That's Margaret Atwood. So what, she's an extremist?" He then asked, out of curiosity, if the reporter was a fan of Margaret Atwood. And this is a bar. "We declined to answer as it was not relevant and we had limited time." And Pierre goes on, "Obviously, the fact we do have a big problem with extremism in this country, and it's the prime minister who's the extremist." And it just keeps going like this, and Pierre just gets more and more unhinged, and the article just gets more and more passive-aggressive. Pierre goes, "The prime minister wants to decriminalize crack, and he wants to give out tax-funded opiates to our kids. He wants to ban automobiles that people need to get to where they're going." And the article just says, "He did not provide specifics or reference policies to which he was referring." And then at the end, I guess, kind of after he winds down and realizes how crazy he sounds, he goes, "I hope you'll play that in full without any edits." And this is the best part. They just go, "Bro, you're recording this interview too." 10 out of 10 interview. shout out Jenny Lamoth. Pray for my boy Pierre. Nothing wrong with him. He's just an idiot.
No, there's a lot wrong with Pierre Polyev. Being an idiot is one of them, but that's not the only problem. There's lots wrong with him. He's a fucking transphobic, homophobic, fucking misogynist piece of shit, lying sack of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
There's lots wrong with him.
there's definitely lots wrong with him, and it's just one of those, like, I don't even know where to start with him. And whether he's full-fledged and whatnot, he definitely will tout it to, because I can't, no matter how people talk about Pierre or whatnot, I still only view him in one way, which is just he's just
Millhouse.
he's just a dumbass opportunist. Yeah, Millhouse, sure, but just a dumbass opportunist. Like, yeah, I'm going to say all these horrible things because none of the shit I'm talking about matters to me or matters to anybody else around me. Is it going to get me what I want, which is to get voted in so I can get the big bucks and get some stuff to help out my investments? That's all I care about. I will say whatever horrific things, they'll just get me voted in because that's all I care about. It's just the lens I see him in. It's not to say he's not horrible. It's just I don't see that the horribleness as his driver. Like there's some people like I need to be a white supremacist. I need to be a misogynist. I need to be a bigot. It's to me, I view him as like I will be that if it gets me what I want. I don't care.
I think he is that. I think he is that because if you're not that, you're not going to pretend to be that. If you are not a bigot, you are not going to pretend to be a bigot.
I think he could. I think he could. I think he just. I don't think he's. I don't think he's a bigot. I don't think he's an anti-bigot. I think he just doesn't care.
No, he's a bigot.
He's just. I think
there's no such thing as not caring. There's no such thing. Then you're a bigot if you don't care because you don't care that other people are going to suffer the consequences of your actions. That makes you a bigot because you don't care that these minority groups, that doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
That these minority groups are going to suffer the consequences.
How else can I explain this? It's you're right. He doesn't care about the other minority groups, but my point is he doesn't care. He's not going to. He's not a Tommy
That's
Robinson.
White privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely white privilege, and I don't disagree. It's a weird kind of nuance, but it's just more of he doesn't care, so he will say anything there is, as opposed to some of these other ones, like whether it be McKenzie or Robinson, where they will say this shit to cause the violence, to cause the chaos. And that's just that kind of little difference in regards to the two of them. They're not quite the same. One of them is going for an alternate version in regards to get them whatever they want, that being Pierre, while the others are just being horrible people because they have some sort of misguided idea that this is what they need to do to, to be some sort of, I don't know, cause change if they truly believe it, or just be the center of something for something else. I don't know what it is. But I feel this is a
fucking loser. He's always been a loser. He was probably a loser in school who had no fucking friends. And I mean, look at the guy. Look what he looked like when he first started fucking. He was just a gross loser. Yeah, Anna, I think you're probably right. I think he's been surrounded by all these bots telling him he is
get to those.
Whatever, so that he's actually started to believe it himself. Like I think they've been telling the story so long that he is actually soaking it in and thinking that it's all real, and he's going to learn. He's going to learn it's not real, and yeah, it's all manufactured. It's crazy. I think he's a nut.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, let's go over through some of this stuff here.
Do you think he's going to debate? I don't think he's going to debate.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to debate. again,
Kids.
he's programmed rhetoric is literally what he is. He will
Yeah.
come out and say this interview was another example of that where he just responded with just all his
Yeah, he doesn't want to
programming.
answer any questions. He just wants to talk about what he wants to talk about, and he's pulling the playbook from the Trump playbook, right? So
It is.
just
And the
dominate
problem is
and try to talk over
Gish
the
Gallup's-
person, get some zingers.
he Gish Gallupson comes in there, but the problem is that people have seen this now for 6 years. They're getting over it. So you're coming with into the game a little late. So, and again, people are going to come in and just prepare the audience listening in with information now. And again, if you're coming in with the same points over and over again, those points are being defeated constantly, and you're going to have a problem with trying to get the voting base that's in between your two parties. Because again, nobody's going to be able to grab your conservative voters. Nobody's going to be able to grab the liberal and NDP voters. It's the ones in between. And the ones in between are being educated with interesting information like this that came out. Because again, this information that he was saying, which is, oh, I never heard diagonal, it's just an NDP gaslighting thing. Except you've been quoted by
God,
all
he's
sorts
ugly.
of media about Diagolon. So Press Progress here is like, yeah, let's take a look at your biggest hits, buddy. So Luc Lebrun was quick on this. And again, follow Luc and Press Progress. September 2022, he says like, I first heard about Diagolon about a month ago. Frankly, most Canadians until about a month ago had never heard of Diagolon and these losers.
That was last year, people. That's what he said last year.
Because it kind of relates to September where, and here's his statement being quoted on Twitter. His words, his handle. But I'm sure he'll blame the NDP for making him post shit.
You know what pissed me off about that post the most? Is that Diagolon had been doing this shit not just to his wife or family. Mm-hmm. They'd been doing it to Rachel Gilmore and to other people. Mm-hmm. And Pierre Poilievre says nothing. He doesn't condemn it. He goes and shakes Jeremy's hand, does whatever, has a conversation, I think, with Rob Primo or something. All this shit that happened. He doesn't say a goddamn word. And then when it affects him directly, all he is talking about in this statement refers to himself and his family and nothing else. Like he doesn't.
And so him not knowing Jeremy and Primo.
Get a security clearance, then, loser.
Yeah. So him not knowing Jeremy and Primo, that's fine. I don't expect him to know everybody. I know he knows bad enough. He knows
was told, though.
But still.
Didn't care.
But it gets up to this next one, which is he was mocked by Diagolon for the incident, and then he publicly denounces Diagolon for the threats against his wife. So between all this, and he still turns around and claims like, yeah, I don't know who this Diagolon group is. Seriously? You don't remember this? Like, this is what you don't remember.
Right? Somebody wanting to rape your wife. You thought it was so terrible that this group attacked your family. You had to make a public statement about it. Yeah. You don't remember now, just a year later? I guess your wife doesn't mean that much to you after all, does she?
It was like, it's the most insane kind of weird thing to be able to.
He's inauthentic. That's the problem. Yeah. Like, he's not authentic at all.
Exactly.
He's gross.
Exactly. I mean, this is why I say his bigotry, misogyny, or anything else is not. He may have some of those opinions, but most of it is based off of opportunity. Not, it's not the driving factor for him. He's just going to use it if it's going to give him advantage. It's just almost.
Gucci has the same bots, by the way.
Well, we haven't got to that. That's literally the next thing.
Oh, yeah, but Gucci has the same ones.
Oh, I'm sure.
Gucci's fame is manufactured too.
It is. I think it is. I'm starting to question, but I'm starting to think it is. I mean, like,
he's on someone's payroll.
I mean, this payroll is pretty powerful to get to this. So, as we're shooting out of the last story, which is about his unknowing about Diaglon, we move over to his bots. And so, this, it was last week, Pierre went to Kirkland Lake. Now, Kirkland Lake, there was a fair amount of people there to the event. And to Twitter, people commented onto it. The problem is, it got a little disconcertingly weird.
It's so fucked up.
It is. So, Pierre has an event. People come out to Twitter and comment. All right, cool. But this count here, 280 times trivia channel, captured like hundreds of tweets. Sorry, hundreds to 200 tweets talking about the Kirkland Lake event. And as you start going into it, it gets even more and more bizarre. So I'm going to go through.
That's 160 right there.
Roughly 160. So each of those.
What you're showing, but there's still another. There's still another 4 pictures of this in the thread.
Yeah. So there's 4 pictures of this, and in each one of them, they look like this. This is about the size and the scale of here.
Yeah.
Of how many you're talking about, and this is like 4 by roughly 10. So about each one's about 40. So it's 160 as you commented. Dead on. So it's in the hundreds. And again, they just showed 4 images. There could be many, many more.
No, what I'm saying is there's in that thread that you're looking at, Joe, the next part of the thread is another 4 pictures of
that brings you up to 320
times 10.
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're at 320. Yeah. It's going. So so if you're talking about the 300s now, this gets even more interesting. So I've got next one which zooms into sort of the text. And the text is interesting because the text is all very, very similar. And so there's a bit of a question because I'm looking through the text and I can see a couple of ways. A, this could be AI. B, this could be template with
I think it's
search and replaces. Sort of like just returned from Pierre Poilievre's rally, which is the same text, identical in all the tweets in Kirkland Lake. And then you can sort of like key replace some of the statements, some of the adjectives and whatnot, just to make this sort of natural feeling. But it's so to give you an idea here, there's now if we're talking about if as Deana's saying, there's 2 of these tweets with the same amount of images, that makes around 300 plus tweets. If you're looking at the actual room, this is the room here, and it's packed. And
they're buzzing.
It is packed.
They are buzzing.
They're buzzing, but the thing is, they're packed in there. But at top's best is around 200. I think it was around 200 is what the count was in the room. Let's give them 300. Okay? Let's give them the conservative 300 as in like the most extreme circumstance. You're going to tell me a room of 300 was able to generate roughly close to 300 people. Like every single person came out there. And again, note the white hairs, which are not Twitter people. Those are generally Facebook people looking for their grandkids to tell them about how the world was better in their time.
Yeah.
Those people all told on Twitter that they were buzzing.
And they live in the US and they live in like all these different places that are not even anywhere close to Kirkland Lake.
You're absolutely right. So as Guy and Deana both like to ruin my punchlines.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Guy.
You guys are both correct. So look, continued
Russia.
on. Russia, England, France, United States. They're all buzzing about going to Kirkland Lake, Ontario.
Oh my God.
To be to Pierre's event. And again, these accounts, like I'm looking at the numbers on the accounts here that Luke's gone, and I'm sure we can probably see them on all of them. They all have like 0 followers to 7 followers, like nothing.
July 2024, July 2024, July 2024, July 2024. They all joined July 2024.
Yeah. It's okay, Guy. It's usually Deana I'm yelling at about that.
What? Oh, sorry, Joe.
Ruining my punchlines. So, now, The
Just makes
great
it for a
thing.
segue instead of a ruiner of a punchline. It's a segue.
That's true. That's true. It's a segue. We'll go with that. One of the interesting ones and one of the interesting notes I did read and Luke's Libras, because they did have an article that details a lot more in regards to it, and I recommend for you to go read up on it. But apparently one of the tweets, which gave sort of semblance that it might be AI. The message said like, yes, had a great time buzzing there. I had to wrap up to oh, there we go. No, sorry. They had to wrap up to get to the event because it was so cold. It's the middle of summer in Kirkland Lake. Trust me, and we've been having plus 30-degree weather in Ontario. Nobody's wrapping up for shit. At all.
I'm wrapping up. Free Palestine.
Could be a girl there. So now one group is definitely coming out here as an NDP, and they're already saying like, yeah, brah, this looks like a bot farm.
That's just NDP liberal extremist talk.
That's true. It's true. It must be liberal extremist talk. That's just
NDP
making stuff
liberal
up about bot farms, and Pierre would never use bot farms.
Now I understand why he went after the NDP, because the NDP are totally taking off on this one.
Well, this was a couple of days after the article, but yeah. I mean,
was it? Oh
yeah,
yeah.
This one came out yesterday. So one of the notes here is Charlie Angus came out that says conservatives need to explain why these offshore bot farms are working to influence Canadian voters on Poilievre's behalf.
Election interference.
Pierre Poilievre needs to explain.
Election interference.
Yeah, Pierre Poilievre needs to explain to himself. Are conservatives using foreign bot farms to create fake momentum in Canada?
Yes.
This could be a disturbing practice for what Pierre Poilievre machine has in store for the coming federal elections, said Angus. Now, my first thing to add up to this is, it's not like these guys ever used robocalls to fuck with elections before.
Exactly. I remember that. Telling people to go to different polling stations. Like, what kind of cheater ass piece of shit does that? You don't care for our democracy. You do not give a shit about our democracy if you are going to fucking cheat like that. You cheating pieces of shit. Yeah, and Pierre Poilievre was part of that same government. So
again, I go back to my original statement from the previous segment, which is they'll do whatever. They don't care.
That's gross.
Don't care who they hurt. Don't care what's the cost. They don't care. They have to pay a fine. They'll get a donor to pay for it. They need to do something. Whatever. I'll get taken care of. They'll get it. And they don't care what's going to be cost because what's the real cost? I might get a fine. Ooh, big deal.
You know what? Justin Trudeau might just be a drama teacher. He's a drama teacher with a security clearance. Your boy Pierre. He's a fucking nothing. He's a career politician with no security clearance. He can't get a security clearance. Oh, man. You can't get a security clearance.
Well, I mean, and that's going to be the next big question is he ever going to be able to get, like, how's he not going to work if he ever gets the, if he was ever to get.
If he was never to become prime minister?
If he was ever to become prime minister.
By default, he gets the security intelligence stuff. He doesn't need a security clearance. He's been elected. There's nothing to talk about. It's just what it is. It is what it is. If the fucking Canadian public votes in a guy who can't get a security clearance, and then they deserve what they get. That's what a democracy is. You get what you fucking vote for. You want to elect some piece of shit who can't get a security clearance? Because why can't you get a security clearance? When are you ever denied a security clearance? What is the reason for not being able to get a security clearance? Because you're fucking, not a good person, maybe, or something. I don't fucking, who gives a shit? He's not going to get a security clearance. He's going to, if he got elected to be prime minister, it doesn't matter. The guy without the security clearance is going to have all of your secret, all of Canada's secrets. Okay, and we move on. I
We
mean,
do.
what does it mean at the end of it?
Well, I mean, there's certain secrets within Canada they want to keep protected, particularly when it comes
Sure.
to national defense and everything else.
Who's
That's,
they?
you know,
The Canadian public? No, because they elected him. If he gets elected,
Yeah.
the Canadian public doesn't give
True.
a fuck. All right, so we move on.
So we need is Canadian Trump to just make things public to people who shouldn't have.
Hey,
access.
man, Trump got fucking like everything was out in the open about Trump. Everybody knew, everybody found out, and these people don't want to believe it or they don't care.
Oh, there's
It's
still
just
like
like what's happening in Palestine. Rape, rape, rape. The Hamas did this, Hamas did that. And then it's like, no, actually, the Zionists did it. And not only did they do it, but they're making it legal to keep doing it because they don't want to be hindered of all the atrocities. And then you turn around and say, oh, well, this is what war is. War is horrible. So it was bad when Hamas was doing it. But now that the Israelis are doing it, it's just, that's the way things go. It's the same shit. It's bad if Trudeau does it. It's bad if Singh does it. But if Pierre Poilievre does it, he's a genius. If Trump does it, he's a genius. It's fucked up,
True.
man. Like these
These
people
guys are
are
disingenuous.
so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're disingenuous.
they're bullshit people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who believe that kind of logic, let's go to Elon Musk.
I fucking hate that guy. Can he just go away? I
No,
like his
we got-
daughter.
True. I got 2 segments on him.
Nice.
So, first one is about a potential feature coming out on Twitter. X will soon remove the amount of likes, comments, and reposts, etc., from replies to posts. You can click on each and still view this info, however. So, what this means is that when you post something on Twitter, you'll get the replies, and this is what the replies will look like. No views onto how
Yeah,
many
'cause
likes.
They don't want anybody to ratio the Zionists anymore. Because that's what's been
No.
happening.
You don't
We
think it
are
has anything
winning,
to do-
people. We are
don't think it has-
winning.
You don't think it has anything to do with the ratioing, So before we get into that, for those asking for a source, this is a feature flag in X on the iOS 10.53 that was released today. So this is the source here who first made the original discovery that everybody's been discussing. I was able to enable the flag on my iPhone to see what it would look like. This has not been officially announced yet, but this is how many companies test unreleased features. And he's right. Like, this is how we would test certain things in a production environment without people publicly viewing this. Those who don't know, I work in IT and we do development, and this is one of the things we do. But yeah, we'll do what's called feature flags, where you have a flag in the configuration that enables and disables it to allow people to see it in production without it being launched. And this is not the first time that Twitter's done that. Launch new features as a flag before actually launching it to the public, so they can preview it, test it, see if they like it, maybe test it with a smaller group. Now that said, so if they do come out this, more than likely this might be something coming from Elon, because again, this is a significant change. This is not a minor sort of like, hey, let's add this new little functionality like, colors to your comments. No. This is huge. You're taking a massive, and I would say foundational functionality away from the end user. Retweeting replies, liking replies, that's huge. So, as some people alluded, like Deana, is it because of ratioing? Well, you know what? There's a bit of evidence about this. Like, Elon might be getting upset because he's being ratioed, but this is, back in 2022, where he got ratioed kind of hard here. And then again, 22, where he got ratioed way harder.
Yeah, but now he has all his bots, so.
And this one was, I believe, around February, where he got ratioed way harder by like a lot.
Yeah. Well, somebody made a comment and they're right. They said, take away the dopamine, take away the income. Like,
Mhm.
the other thing is no one's going to, like, I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's going to work for him. Like, he could try it, but I don't think people are going to hang on to Twitter if he gets, like, there are certain things that people are like, that's it, I'm leaving Twitter, it's vile, whatever. This would probably, like, kill it.
I don't know what will kill it.
I think this would kill it.
I don't know. No, because I don't think anybody. I truly believe that people, and I've been commenting on this, and even I believe I'm guilty of being part of this, which is we are the problem with Twitter, and I'm not talking about the everybody in total. I'm talking about we on the left are the problem with Twitter, and the reason why I say that is he's on the right.
What?
He's
Can you
enabling
just
all
get
his
to your
buddies.
point? You're not even making sense. You're just saying we're wrong and they're right. He's right. What do you mean?
Let me finish.
Well, get there.
I know. He's enabling everybody on the right to come in there to say whatever they want and do whatever they want. And what
Sure.
do? We yell and scream about it and complain. That's all we do. The only thing you can do is, again, starve the platform. Let it die out like Parlay. Let it die out like Truth Social. Nobody else is on there.
That's not what
except
we're
for the people
talking
on the
about
right.
here. We're talking about him taking away the dopamine from the very people who need that dopamine, which is the right.
Mhm.
They're the ones who keep trying to ratio people and shit like that, and they're going to lose
Yep.
that, and they're going to be like, this is fucking boring. I learned about ratios from the right. Like, they're the ones who were like cheering on the ratios and shit like that. It was them, nobody else. I honestly didn't know. I was on Twitter. I mean, wasn't on Twitter that long. I was on since 2012 with the other account, but I wasn't really on it. And the only time I heard about ratios was like a couple months before I got banned, or maybe 3 or 4 months before I got banned, like suspended, and then my other account, like, and it's because they're the ones he's taking it away from them too. It's not about whether the left,
Yeah.
I'm not saying because this is happening, the left is going to walk out and then he's going to lose his platform. His platform isn't.
Yeah. But I wasn't going specifically for the feature. It's just we keep feeding it by staying here and yelling to the people on the right. It's the conflict that he's profiting off of. And not really profiting off of it because that goes into the next segment. But it's us coming in here to fight. I mean, we've got other platforms we can deal with. We can go on Mastodon. We can go on Blue Sky. But we stay here for all the larger amount of people and the larger amount of interaction and the conflict. Social media owners have learned the big bucks comes from conflict. That's how they make money. And they intentionally make sure you see a little bit of things that piss you off because it keeps you on the platform a little bit longer.
That's not why I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I would have left Twitter and gone back to Facebook, but Facebook, you can't put any news on Facebook because he's a cheap ass piece of shit and doesn't want to pay for that. So we can't post anything on there, any articles. Your video will get taken down if you show anything that's actually happening in Palestine. Like, for me, there's no benefit to Facebook except for the live streams. And I've been posting a few things here and there on there, but
what about Blue Sky? What about Mastodon? What about these other places that could do the same thing?
am on Blue Sky, but I can't, like, what about Blue Sky? Like, what is on Blue Sky? What is Blue Sky? I don't know. I have to fucking learn a whole new goddamn platform again. It's annoying as fuck.
It's made by the people who made
I'm
Twitter
trying to get
originally.
back onto Instagram, and I'm hating that. Like,
I can't understand Instagram either.
Instagram
I'm a
is
weird
just,
place.
Like, and I know that's the big place for everybody to be. And so I'm trying to, like, get on there. I don't know, man. All the platforms have their fucking shit. Same with TikTok. I'm on TikTok and I do a few TikToks, but just, I don't know. I think so. In another way of looking at it, though, when we used to read the newspaper and people would write in their comments to the editor. Nobody could like your comment to the editor. Like, you could like it, you could look at it and be like, oh, this is a really great comment to the editor, but nobody, like, you just read
Talking
it.
about newspapers now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying nobody can like your newspaper edit, at whatever your comment to the editor. So it's the same thing. Commenting on somebody's thing, no one's can like it. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure. There's so much disinformation on Twitter. I think it's getting old already, and I think it'll get old if he gets rid of that, because he's getting rid of the dopamine part, and I think that's...
I don't disagree with you. And he's already got some financial problems, and he's starting to feel it now. And so let's get to the part two.
He's got emotional issues.
That he does. Absolutely does. But he's also got some revenue issues, and we're going to let his CEO talk about it.
I hope he's homeless.
Hey, everybody. I was shocked by the evidence uncovered by the House Judiciary Committee that a group of companies organized a systematic illegal boycott against X. It is just wrong, and that is why we are taking action. Today, we filed an antitrust lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, 4 of its key members, and the World Federation of Advertisers. These organizations targeted our company and you, our users. The evidence and facts are on our side. They conspired to boycott X, which threatens our ability to thrive in the future.
Oh, dear.
That puts your global town square, the one place that you can express yourself freely and openly, at long-term risk. People are hurt when the marketplace of ideas is constricted. No small group of people should be able to monopolize what gets monetized. This group is no match for the power of our users. All of you, the very same users that have driven usage of X to all-time highs.
Wait a second. Isn't Elon
I joined X because I believe in the
I
power
thought this was a
of the
satire.
global town square.
Yeah, I know, eh?
It's
No, it's
users
not.
like you, people
This
of
is the
all
CEO.
backgrounds and opinions,
Oh, fuck.
who make X indispensable.
She's nuts.
You deserve an open platform where
Oh, yeah?
your views can be expressed without restriction,
Like
and
Jesus
without fear.
slapping you in the head?
To all of you who have been part of
Was I fucking free to say that,
we're
bitch?
on, thank you. Rest assured, X has never been more committed to innovating and expanding all of our global town
You're
square.
a Zionist freak.
I don't know about the Zionist freak because I don't know her
Oh,
politics.
she's a Zionist freak. Dude, you, the users. Oh my God, I'm outraged. I am so angry that there is a group of people who want responsible fucking platform and
I'm not sure.
advertising.
Yeah. I'm not saying she is a Zionist or not because again, I don't know anything about her beyond this. But I'm like, you are like there's so much.
You know why I know
like, I'm
she's
just
a
that-
Zionist? Because she's the CEO of the very company that is trying to suppress voices against genocide and specifically Palestinian genocide. That's how I know she's a fucking Zionist.
Fair enough. But
Easy peasy.
I don't know. That's fair. That aside, there's just so much unpack. It's like, oh my God, these companies have decided to not give us money. And
We're
it's a
suing them.
conspiracy to not give us money. I'm like, companies don't need to give you money. There's no obligation for any company to give you money. Like, I'm not sure how are you going to frame this lawsuit without the judges looking at you saying that you're just hilariously...
Freedom.
Exactly. Freedom.
Capitalism.
You're going... Yeah, exactly. Capitalism says I can put my money anywhere I want to. That I have. Which means I don't need to give you the money. I get to... the entire thing is in capitalism that you guys keep...
I don't
cataloging.
like your product. I am not going to pay for it. Like,
buy it.
period. Buy it, rent a space on it. I don't like your product.
I will not participate in the service or product
Correct.
you offer.
Simple. Like, fuck. We are going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars taking these corporations to court because
It won't
they
last
don't
that
want
long.
to spend their money on us.
It's not going to last that long because
Good plan.
they're not making money to begin with.
Maybe it's time for a
So-
new CEO. Elon.
Remember, Elon is sole owner. Therefore, there's no way to vote whoever the CEO is out because he appointed her.
Yeah, that's nice.
The entire company. There's only one thing that can occur: the company will need to fall apart, and he will continue to run it while he's got money to throw into it. But eventually, it's going to collapse. The thing will fall apart and collapse.
He's done.
At some point. So before going into that, let's go back to one thing because again, he's like, I don't understand why the why the companies are not investing with it. Like, it's a concerted effort for companies not to give him money, right? Like, could there possibly be any reason why companies are not giving Twitter money? Like, it's not like he asked them not to give them money, right?
But there's a public perception that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
What a petulant child.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
Is he okay?
Go yourself. Is that clear?
Is he ever?
I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
Feel bad for the host.
How do you think that
Feel
about the
bad for whoever
economics
fucked that
of,
guy.
of X?
Gross.
If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
What?
I understand that there's a reality too,
Acronym for go fuck yourself.
right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And do you think
And the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
Wow.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say,
Tell it to Earth.
but they're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
This goes back to
We'll both make our cases,
right.
and we'll see what the outcome is.
Does he actually think that Earth gives a flying fuck about him? Like, if he disappeared tomorrow, even his staunchest fans will move the fuck on.
Yep.
Like, he is... Like, let's see what Earth thinks about this. He sounds like he's fucking 12 years old or something.
So that's the common thread in regards to views on him right now, that he is a man-child, which I don't disagree with.
Oh my God.
But also there's the billionaire class is very much megalomaniac. It's like, no, we're this higher thing and we need to be worshipped. And therefore, if you're not paying me money, if you're not following me because I am the genius here, because I'm the billionaire, then it's something wrong with you. In this case here, he's willing to say, no, it's something wrong with all of you, the entire advertising business market, who just have very simple rules. Hey, we'd like to promote our ads in a safe place. That's not going to make our brand look bad when we're advertising beside a post there. We'd like that post not to have, white supremacy messaging.
I want to be racist, and you are going to like it.
Yeah. The freedom thing is just, every time you scream freedom, I'm like, what racist thing you're trying to say?
Wait till
And it's the
Earth
same
gets
thing.
a hold of this. Just
Earth won't
wait
give a
till
shit.
Earth finds out about this. How many people are on Twitter? How many users? And even if you want to include the bots, how many users are on Twitter? What do they have?
They got a fair amount. They got millions.
Millions.
Probably
Millions?
billions. Millions of billions. I don't know what the user count is for.
There's 9 billion people on this planet. Tell me Earth gives a shit. Tell me Earth gives a flying fuck. We are about to go into a massive fucking war in the Middle East. Do you think we give a fuck about Twitter? Twitter will go away and nobody will give a flying fuck.
So 2022, Twitter
Except for
had
the handful of people that might be making money off of Twitter.
So Twitter had 368 million active users.
368 million.
Yeah.
That's a
And
third
that
of
was-
a billion.
And
There's
Twitter's
9 more
revenue-
of those.
Yeah.
8 more of
In-
those billions.
Twitter's revenue was roughly 4 billion back then.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now, but I don't imagine
Well,
it's
it's mostly
as much as
bots
it used
now.
to be.
No, it's infested with bots that are fucking not even good at being bots. They all say the same thing.
Because
They're
they're all
not
from
even
Kirkland
good
Lake.
at it.
They're all from Kirkland Lake.
They're right. Where they all visit Kirkland Lake in their spare time to go watch some stupid geek give a hate-filled speech to a bunch of fucking grandpas. Angry
True.
grandpas who have manicured lawns and guns at their fucking front door. Whoopty shit. Yeah.
The problem is, so one of the biggest things in regards to the advertising issues is because Twitter refuses to monitor any of its hate speech. I mean,
I know.
the hate speech they're monitoring is
Well,
things
don't
like
talk about
just-
Jesus. That's hate speech.
Don't talk about Jesus. That's hate speech if you're talking in regards to the way you did. Don't talk about cis or cisgender, or don't even use the terminology cisgender. That's viewed as hate speech that will get you removed.
Freedom.
But the freedom is to talk about how Islam's coming onto the platform, how they are the end all of a nation. They're taking over.
By the
And
time
this-
the Muslims are done, Twitter or X is going to be halal.
Possibly. But till then,
Just kidding.
this is the messaging that's been allowed to cause the
Yeah.
following. The following being what's going on in UK. So an incident occurred where an individual, a 17-year-old individual, killed 3 and injured 10. Horrific incident, absolutely. But because of that particular incident, and because of the name of the person, misinformation was able to spread, particularly by those like Tommy Robinson, to spread said messaging out. And that spread rapidly across the UK. Messaging like, a scene, a horror movie. So this particular article here talks about the incident that caused 3 people to be killed and 10 injured. Again, horrific. Southport stabbings. What we know as a suspect has identified, but unfortunately, that gets turned into an entire new narrative by somebody like Tommy Robinson, who's like, "Look, here they are, killing and taking over." And in fact,
He
he's
made
in round
himself
2.
the victim.
He made himself a victim.
Aw.
More predictably than that, even called people to do something.
So before people get on quick and condemn the angry men, that anger is justified. Okay? I'm surprised this took this long. And with your two-tier cowardice policing, you've actually encouraged the scenes you see tonight. You've done this. The government have done this, the police have done this, your absolute cowardice has resulted in this. Children being butchered and murdered. And the problem is, no one can believe a word you say, because you continuously lie. Everything's a lie from you. No one trusts you. No one trusts your media. The entire nation is about to break down because of your foolish, weak, cowardly leadership. Stop the fucking boats. Get them out of them hotels. Get them gone. Put them on boats and send them back. Okay? They shouldn't be here. They're endangering the safety of our families. Men will rise up. They're always going to rise up. They have to rise up to defend their families. You've brought this war on our shores. You've brought danger on our shores. You cowards. So that anger you're seeing, and that's just before people condemn them. Yeah? Don't call them hooligans. They're justified in their anger. Yes, there's a better way to do it, but they don't see no better way. Because you know what? The government have told them we only listen to rioters, we listen to violence. That's the message that's been sent by these bastards in control. And these weak police forces. I bet they're not as weak tonight. And no doubt they're out protecting. Anyway, that's my little rant for the night. Because it's fucking frustrating.
He's a psycho?
He's a psycho.
Where's he yelling from?
Here, I think he was still in the UK. But shortly after, he disappeared to Cyprus. Because, he's tough. While the entire country that he set on fire is burning, he ran out to Cyprus to go tan and continue his messaging from there. Because, he's committed to his fucking cause.
He's an immigrant somewhere else. He hates immigrants, but he'll go hang out in their countries and shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's warning us of illegal immigrants coming across because of their criminal records. Oh wait, wasn't he arrested when he illegally came into Canada for lying on
United States?
In the United States for illegally giving false information on his immigration papers? Right.
White privilege. White dude privilege.
Oh, yeah. Didn't help him there, thank God. So he's now safe in Cyprus while, tanning and working his tan while his country's burning.
Tan? He's going to look like a brown person. He better not tan.
Yeah,
he might get mistaken and get stabbed.
That's true.
That's
true.
Not a good idea, Tommy.
So
not a good idea.
The entire thing has just gone absolutely insane. So there's about a couple of hundreds. It was about, I think, up to around 50 different locations, 20 or 30 different locations around the UK, with a couple of hundreds of people doing some rioting, and it's horrifying. So, to the people who are affected by these riots, yeah, I feel horrible in regards to people driving their cars being pulled out of them.
Fucking right.
Hell's
set on fire.
This is horrifying stuff.
This is fucking ridiculous.
But, and again, horrifying, and standing with people who want to stop this here. There is a pause that we need to sort of acknowledge here. And I think I'm going to let Rachel Gilmore discuss a little bit more of other things we need to be aware of.
Are you seeing what's happening in the UK right now? Well, it's fucking foul. And if we don't take the threat of far-right extremism seriously, we could see it here too. See, far-right rioters in British cities have been carrying out violent racist attacks, including setting hotels on fire that are housing asylum seekers, all because of an anti-immigrant misinformation campaign. And before you think, God, that's awful, I'm glad it wouldn't happen here, Canadians, including members of prominent far-right extremist groups here, have been cheering it on, saying things like it's war and your skin is your uniform. Meanwhile, they're getting more and more organized in really concerning ways. Like a prominent member of the far-right extremist group Diagolon recently told a crowd that they're taking it, quote, seriously because they're trying to move the needle in politics in Canada. Diagolon leaders also just hung out with an active club, and one of its most prominent members publicly claimed to run his own. Active clubs are not good. The Institute for Strategic Dialogue defines active clubs as, quote, white nationalist extremist groups that emphasize physical fitness and hand-to-hand combat skills and have a history of violence. I looked at the social media for the active club Diagolon recently hung out with, and they appear to have ties to and gather publicly with members of other Canadian active clubs. And they're not subtle about the nature of what they're doing. Meanwhile, Diagolon leader Jeremy Mackenzie, in response to the violence in England, is saying the need for active clubs can't be more obvious. I spoke to investigative journalist Peter Smith, who told me it's fair to say that Diagolon's Alex Brend is, quote, very engaged with the active club networks inside and outside of Canada. But he also had this to say, quote, there are a lot of differences between Canada and the UK that make me hopeful that we are not at the same point as they are seeing in England and other parts of the region. However, he said, quote, anti-immigrant narratives have always been and remain popular fodder for the far right in Canada. We should not be so arrogant as to think something like what is happening in the UK could not happen here. What do you think of all of this?
So, and I think the biggest message I'd like to take from that is, because I think she touches on it very, very well, which is we cannot think this is not going to happen here. I mean, for fuck's sakes, we've seen Dialon run around and say the messaging. We've heard the recordings of what's going on inside their little comedy shows. We've seen the groups grow. We've seen the guys, from being just anti-vaxxers turning into, no, it's the immigrants with Take Back Canada. Like, we've seen this growing here. We cannot.
It's not just them.
No.
When I went on March 3rd to Toronto to protest the land sales, those fucking Zionists were fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Fucked in the head. Literally, like, trying to hit you, hitting you,
Shoot you with a nail gun.
shooting you with a nail gun, ripping a sign out of a 9-year-old girl's hands. Like, these people are fucked. And all they kept saying was like racist, Islamophobic, crazy shit. And now we see that they are like totally fine, doing some pretty disgusting shit to people. No problem, and condoning it and even legalizing it. So, and they're working hand in hand. Like, it's so crazy that the Zionists and the Nazis, the AFD, are so tightly connected. Tommy Robinson and Israel are extremely, he even said he would fight for Israel. The Zionists and the Nazis are the same. They are the same. Netanyahu's son is part of the AFD, which is the Nazi Party of Germany. It's just the new name for it because you can't say Nazi in Germany. Like, he's hiding out in Florida, but he's part of it. JDL, EDL, they're all the fucking same.
There is a common thread when it comes around.
And they're all terrorist groups, extremist terrorist groups. JDL is fucking a terrorist group by the FBI. Diagolon is a terrorist group by the Canadian, whatever, government, whatever it is, security. What do we call it? Anyway.
So I do have two more parts to this, which is, I feel a John Oliver kind of moment. So what can you do? Well, the first part here is Canadian Anti-Hate Network, came out with a guide.
I love it.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen this, please go check it out. The Anti-Hate Network has pointed out that, yes, the far-right tactics have been increasing, but they've come out with a guide. 40 different ways to fight the far right.
Make a spectacle.
Make a spectacle. There's, again, all sorts of ways on the inside. And again, go take a look at the guide, read inside, take a look, see what you can do. It is a fantastic guide. I haven't finished it, had a chance to finish reading the entire thing. I've gotten about a good ways into it. But again, it came out today, and my Wednesdays tend to be booked because, making sure we had everything for tonight for you guys. But it is a fantastic guide for at least everything I've read up to this point. And the one takeaway I want to say and I want to put out is it is a multi-level guide. And that, as my caption said when I retweeted out to everybody else, this is fantastic because it doesn't mean you need to do everything in this guide. It means you can do stuff in this guide. Do what you're comfortable to do. This is very much, and they very much advertise it on the front. Diversity of tactics. There's, depending on your engagement level, there's something you can do in there. I don't ask for you to do everything in the guide. I ask you to find at least one thing in there that you're comfortable to do. Do that. That's it. That's all you need to do. And there are some very safe and simple ways. It could be just as, again, something as simple as retweeting. If there's a donation somewhere, maybe there's something you can help out into some of the other groups. Read, take a look, find something you're comfortable with, and see if you can help out. Again, the idea is to have many numbers, everybody filling in all the spots, and having a large, diverse group addressing this issue because, again, UK's having it. UK's having it. US has had it and still is dealing with it. It is naive to think we are not going to be experiencing any of this if we haven't really experienced it already.
No, we are. It's going to get worse. We're not out of this. It's going to get worse.
Absolutely right.
There will be some issues.
There will be absolutely some issues. There's going to be more, but there is at least a little bit of hope. People can get in there, and again, the far right does get extreme. But I'm going to show you a video from East London. Because East London has one message for the rest. Remember, I told you, in all the spots around UK, it's about a few hundred white supremacists trying to scare people out. East London, 10,000. So, as of I've been watching the videos tonight from that one and quite a few others. It's changing because, again, most people don't agree with that messaging.
Nope.
We just need to get more people out. You're
We're
all
also
there.
kind of sick and tired of privileged white men crying their brains out over nothing. It's getting boring, guys. Like, do something productive. Do something fucking whatever. Nobody cares.
I agree.
I'm interested. Yes, that kid was born and raised in the UK. I'm interested in finding out if they came from a country that's colonized from the UK, because then they are British citizens, at the end of the day, or whatever.
Born and raised in the UK, but I don't even want to bother with that because you're born and raised in the UK, you're UK through and through.
And you're Christian.
So,
I mean, he was Christian. It's not that he's Christian because he was born and raised in the UK.
I'm like, you're born and raised in the UK. And these white nationalists are just like, you can't be born and raised in the UK because you're not white. And I just want to just make sure we keep that in mind. Like, they thought he's not born and raised in the UK because he's not white. Because they're racist pieces of shit. That's it. Speaking of which.
Speaking of racists.
Yeah. We're going to go back to Toronto for our last segment here, which was an additional follow-up. And a particular video I've cut down.
This is crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, you got to watch the whole video, but it's good that you cut it down because it's like...
The whole video is about over 20 minutes. I've cut it down to around I got down to the highlights. There's a couple of minutes here in regards to. So, background on this one is a group from Toronto called Jews Say No are in front of a synagogue on the public sidewalk.
Not a
street.
synagogue, a synagogue that they attend, that they have attended since birth. Okay, not just a
Fair.
synagogue.
For my explanation,
Yeah.
a synagogue is sufficient because they're in front of a synagogue on the public street because they're on the sidewalk and on the public side of the asphalt. They're not on private property. That's the important part. But they are there trying to talk about a speech in regards to a statement that they're making as their organization, and they get interrupted by somebody who we're not exactly sure who they are, but we figure they're affiliated to the church.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? I think is the biggest messaging on the whole thing. So you guys can tell me.
I am deeply concerned about religious institutions that are supposed to be
private property.
We're not on your private property.
No, this is.
This is city property.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's not a sidewalk. It's private property.
This is a boulevard?
It's
This
not.
is where we were allowed to stand by police last week.
Who are you?
No. Who are you?
We're Jews against genocide.
Well, good. Okay. You guys. Let's see. You have to go.
Can you call the police if you'd like?
Thank you.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Oh, Canada, talk all you want. Let's go. I can talk, and well, you're talking. I can talk too. Okay, go. Let's do it.
Okay.
My name is.
No, you should finish that sentence. What's your name?
My name is.
Finish it.
No, my name is.
Okay. The chairman of the Pride
You're
of
a
Israel
fat cunt.
said he hoped.
You're a cunt. You're fat.
Wow.
You're ugly.
Are you Jewish as well?
Horrible human being. You are a horrible, horrible human being.
Okay.
It's not your property.
This
It
is my
is. This is
childhood
private.
synagogue, and you're treating me this way.
And I'm Israeli, so you guys are treating me
This is
badly.
my country, Canada. We're not in Israel. I'm not understood the relevance.
I'm a Jew, just like you guys.
Great.
Please leave.
Just like you guys.
Why
Just
is this so
please
hard for
leave.
you? Why does it matter to
Call
you?
the police.
Who cares?
And
Please
call the
leave.
police.
Please leave.
Call the police.
We're
This is
asking you
not
nicely.
your-
No, I'm not apologizing to
I'm asking
anyone.
you
Please
nicely,
leave.
cunt.
You're assaulting
You're a
us.
disgusting human being.
I am. Thank you. And your mother should have had an abortion.
Oh, that's original.
Or
Wow.
What a
you know
loser.
what, Betty? Your mom should have spit.
All right, let's have you continue.
Okay?
The chairman of the Pride of Israel said he hopes that everybody
No, you know
respects
what?
everybody
Stop,
that's
please.
here,
Please
which is
stop,
ironic.
You know? Please leave.
Which is ironic, since the police removed us
Please
ostensibly
leave.
on behalf of the synagogue
Please leave.
with an aggressiveness that definitely did not feel very respectful.
Please leave.
From the moment we arrived, politely
leave.
lining up like everyone else hoping to attend the event,
Please leave.
we were told by questionable
leave.
security for hire staff that we would not be allowed inside. No reason was given. I was horrified to be dragged away by
So
two police
horrified,
officers
you know?
from the
So
synagogue
horrified.
I have attended many times before, simply for
So
being
horrified.
the wrong kind of Jew in this moment. A
You know,
Jew
you're not a
in a
Jew,
t-shirt
you're not a Jew
that
to
made
protest
people
it.
have to face the fact
You know?
that a horrific
Please leave.
live-streamed genocide is being committed by Jews
Okay, you
who
don't
are
know what the
claiming
word genocide
to be
means.
doing it in the name of
know?
Jews over the rights that are enshrined in the
Please
Charter
leave.
for all Canadians to be able to peacefully
Don't
protest.
touch me.
We have the
Don't
bruises.
come near me.
I'm not coming near you.
You are.
We have the
No,
bruises to show for their choice.
You touch me again. You touch me again. I'll have you charged for assault. Okay? Yeah. Can you guys please leave?
Instead,
I'm asking them nicely
they
to please
seek
leave.
to silence voices like
And
mine.
this guy keeps touching me and hitting
Even
me.
if that means dragging me away from a public meeting with elected officials in a
So, can you
synagogue.
please leave?
And then, when it was
You
over,
know, the police need to be here
supporters
all the
of
time.
the Pride of Israel event began online harassment of members. Speak
No,
up
I'm not injured.
anytime.
I am on the phone with the police. Just stay here because you can see that I'm not doing anything that they're doing here.
You don't promote
Pride of Israel Shul.
The TPS hate crime
We have
unit
nothing
claims
to
to
do
protect us
with
from
anything. We're in
violence
Canada.
and
You guys
discrimination.
want to go? Go to Palestine. Go to Palestine.
But last week, here at the Pride of Israel Synagogue, we saw
You
the
know,
reality
go to Palestine.
behind
Help
the-
them there.
the
Why are you
TPS
bothering us?
and its hate crime unit.
Go fight in the war.
Like he
Really? I was sure you're gonna like
you
him.
guys, like, if you see the whole video, at the beginning of the video, the guy that's talking at the end, not the loser guy, the guy that has the shirt that says Jews say no to genocide, was talking about how they were treated. And same with the younger girl, was talking about how they were treated, that they were fat shamed, queer shamed, like treated like utter garbage, and then kicked out. And here this guy comes along, like
They were doing the same
it
thing.
would have just been a statement at that point of their, of what they felt like they experienced. But then all of a sudden, this guy comes along and just completely proves everything that they fucking said in real time. It was so bad. That was like very clipped. There is like probably a good, 6 minutes of that harassment by that man. He's such a petulant piece of shit.
So there is. And again, I was clipping it to try to get to the highlight points, mostly because trying to conserve a bit of time. It is a entire 20-minute clips. I believe I got it retweeted. I know you do too. If you guys want to see the whole thing, we highly encourage you guys to see the complete video. It's from Makata, and give it a like and follow her too. But yeah, it is just, the entire thing is just a bizarre thing where this man comes out to the sidewalk. It's like, you're in my space.
This is my synagogue. Nobody even knows who he is. She's been going to that synagogue since she was a kid, and she doesn't even know who the fuck that guy is.
There's a certain macro view of there's a Zionism right here, where this person comes out like, yeah, this is not my space. Move, leave, or I'll have you removed. Because it's not my space, I'm going to get you removed.
I'm going to call the authorities to have you physically removed from my place that I've claimed as my own.
It is. And in this particular place, it wasn't even the synagogue itself. It's the public
It's the boulevard.
Street.
The security guard that she's talking about, because I saw it in the previous one, he's the same guy that tried to kick me off of the boulevard when I was on that side. And I'm like, what, you own this property? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it's all on the live, trying to be all fucking tough and shit. And I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here. Fucking lose. That's when the liaison cop tried to come and talk me out of being there. And I'm like, fuck this. I can be here if I want to. Fuck you. Fuck you and you and you and you. I'm going to stand right here. Take up the space. Fuck them all. Fucking losers.
Indeed.
Oh, of course you're allowed to stay there, he says. Yeah, and I'm going to stay here then. Fuck off.
Pretty much the end of the conversation with them.
Huh?
That's pretty much the end of the conversation with them at that point.
Yeah, I was pretty much done. I was done. I was just standing there filming these crazy people. Acting a fool.
It's true. That ends our night.
Yes, good night, everybody.
We are definitely over. It's by a lot, because there was a lot of stuff, and I'm kind of glad I cut some stuff because there was so much stuff to go through.
There's tons.
For everybody who's still stuck around, thanks for joining us. We will be here again next Wednesday. Join us at 9:30. We will get this a little bit better timed. As well as don't forget to join us on Friday at 9 o'clock. And there is a finger. But before then, don't forget to also, we're still collecting money for Deana. Please throw in some money right now. It's been a little bit slower. We need to get as much because, again, our goal is to try to get $25,000 because the funds are big. Deana needs your help. We need your help to help Deana. Please.
Wednesday is probably going to be when I release the song.
Oh, yes. Tell us about the song.
I'm excited. I went and recorded it on Friday. And then the person who's collaborating with me is a local Palestinian rapper who is fire. And I messaged him this morning asking him how it was going. And he said he's ready. So we are going to finish the recording because he now has to put in his part. He is going to We're going to go probably on Monday or Tuesday. I just sent a message to the producer to find out if they have availability for us. So I'm trying to hurry up and finish the video so that I can launch it as soon as it's done, because I'm very excited for it to go. I've been driving around, and yes, I played my own song, and I've been blasting my own song.
Nice.
Because, you know, I can't protest, so that's my protest.
That's true. That's true. So, please, again,
Just
go
listen
take a
to my
look.
music.
3 Deana's on the top. Come jump on and help us out in the fundraiser.
Or pay me to stop singing. One or the other. Either listen
Either
to it
way.
because it's good, and if you fucking hate it, pay me to stop singing.
When we have some more information in regards to the song, we will absolutely let you guys know. Tina will be sending that out, and I will be reposting it. And obviously, if you're following us on the page, absolutely. Till then, that's it for us.
Well,
I'll follow up with you there, Julie, to find out what there is. Till then, thanks for joining us tonight, and we will leave you with one last video.
Will you explain to me what you're doing now?
I'm meditating.
Cool.